Hello, my divine kings and queens. I'm back to do another video. Really quick before I get into this message, I want to say be sure to check out my personal YouTube channel. Make sure that you check the link in the description box below. I'll also be reposting the link to the community board. I'll be uploading new videos this week because I'll actually be running a marathon this weekend. I got some updates on Jade, some things that I have been planning. So for right now, I know I haven't really been consistent with the personal channel, but make sure that you go and subscribe. I told y'all things gonna start kicking once I graduate school, but for right now I've been posting, when I have time, but I got some new updates coming, especially this weekend. So make sure that you go ahead and check out my personal channel so you can see a more in-depth view of who I really am, just what I do in my personal time and things like that, different events that I have coming up. Also, if you are new to the JC gang, I want to welcome you. I also want to thank all my A1 Day Ones who've been sticking it out with me since the beginning. We've come a mighty long way, and I just want to thank you guys, and I want to tell you how much I appreciate you, how much I love you. And so now getting into these messages, so I had two messages that came to me last night, and even though it was too late for me to record, I wrote everything down, trying to remember everything because it was just coming to me, and I was like, oh, okay, I got to record this. And then I had to come back and put the notes together. So today's message, God is saying that these devils, right, that were in your life had to get exposed. In part because they weren't trying to recognize you for who you really were. The other part because they took things way too far, and God was saying that they needed to get exposed. You really needed to see who these people were so that he can sit them down and turn you back around. The thing is, you kept reaching, they kept leeching. You were being consistent and persistent, and they was being resistant. So, and God was in the back facilitating this whole process, this whole lesson. While you was reaching, God was teaching. There was a lesson to be learned in all of this. And the thing is, God is saying that he had to sit these people down because these people had been talking about you for years. They had been going against you for years. And the thing is, they were doing this in private. That's why you never knew who they were. And that's why you kept these people around you for as long as you did, because you didn't know exactly who they were. You took one particular situation or maybe one particular individual, and God was trying to show you, even though all of this was interconnected, it wasn't just this one person in this situation that needed to get exposed. It was everyone who was connected to them, people who were connected to you, people who knew about your situation. Whatever the case may be, these people had to get exposed. And in the midst of it, what I'm feeling is, in the midst of it, it felt like you were alone for a while. When these devils got exposed, you got to understand, God was knocking these people out your life. Going down the list, he was knocking these people out your life. And as he was doing this, you kept saying, wow, like, I don't have nobody. I don't have nobody. You kept going back and forth in your head about, if you were being paranoid, if you were just uneasy about certain situations and it clouded your judgment. God said, no, it didn't. You were surrounded around devils, and these devils had to get exposed. In the midst of the storm, you were crying. God said you cried. You cried through this whole cycle. Yes, you did. You cried through this whole cycle, but you're going to get the last laugh, because the very same people who should have been flocking to you, should have been supporting you, was sitting there and being silly and laughing about the situation. And it caused you to feel like you were alone in the midst of this storm. But once God brought you through this storm, something in you just struck. And what happened is, you became aware about why God had to take you through this storm, even though he was walking with you, why these people had to get exposed, because it was very calculated, even calculated in their foolery about how and when and where they was going to talk about you, how, when, and where they was going to go against you, how, when, and where. Things that you had done, who you done them with, why you were doing them. I said, a lot of these people, man, can't even hold a candle next to you, but sat there and talked about you. It was because of your light and who you were and where God was bringing you that they were. A lot of these people had their own deep-rooted insecurities, which caused them to cause an injustice in your life because of their own deep-rooted insecurities. You can only control the things of which you can control. You couldn't make these people like you or talk good about you or perceive you in a different light. All you had to do was keep doing what God asked you to do. Keep walking and keep pushing and keep trucking and allow him to show you what needs to be shown. And it was that you were surrounded around devils. Period, point blank. I don't care who they are. I don't care what they claim to be and what they claim to know and worship. They were devils when it came to you. They weren't trying to see you for who you were. They were sitting out talking bad about you, laughing about you, trying to go against you. The thing is, and God's trying to make you see something. Even if these people are trying to come and show respect now and trying to show love now, where was this in the time that you needed it, when you was walking through that storm? Where was this when you needed it? You had a lot of people, you had a lot of people, like I say, that are trying to come back in your life now. They're trying to do right now. God trying to sit you down and say, ask yourself why they doing that. You so willing to come back and open these people and let them back into your life, and you're not even recognizing what was done. Keep in mind, I didn't show you everything, because God will only place on you what you can be. You couldn't handle the full, authentic, raw truth. He gave you bits and pieces of it in hopes that you would understand. In hopes that you would understand. It don't matter about, maybe you sent an approval, maybe you sent the request, and these people were overlooking you or whatever. You were outcasted in whatever group you was in, but be it your family, be it your friends, you were the outcast because these people were of the world. They was always trying to nitpick at something, analyze something, talk bad about something, no matter how good you strive to be. Be wary of people like that. I tell you that all the time. None of us are perfect. But who deserves to keep throwing the things back up, having things thrown back up in their face about how imperfect they are? Especially in the time that you tried to do right, all this stuff was being thrown back on you. Because a lot of it is people couldn't accept you for the person that you were becoming. So they had to keep throwing up the things of who you used to be. That's another reason why they had to get exposed. Being fake. Just now we're proving stuff when you had been sent requests like years ago. They didn't want to accept you. They didn't want to be around you then. So be wary of it if they're trying to do all this in one right now. Because it was God who brought you through that storm. It was God who carried you through that storm. It was God who shielded you out in the midst of that storm. These people didn't care. If you died in the midst of that storm, they didn't care what happened to you. It was too busy trying to judge when they should have been praying for you. I tell you the story about the prodigal son, man. I don't know why this story is just sitting with me. Like, the way that it came to me last night, it's like, in this situation, the father who accepted the wayward son back is God. Now, bear with me for a moment while I explain this, right? God, right? You had the people in your family, or the people who were surrounded around you, people who you was connected with. These people thought that they were deserving of all the blessings that God was going to bring their way, because they felt like they were just, that they did everything right. They handled themselves properly. You know, they felt like they did everything right. When it came to you, you were wayward. You were whatever it is that you had done, however they labeled you, that's what you were. The thing is, God allowed you to detour. God allowed you to get off track and get off your path. He always had plans to bring you back and give you blessings. These people didn't know that. God allowed you to get out there in the world. And when that world had discarded you, did not care for you, laughed and mocked you and rejected you, you came right back to God. And he welcomed you back with open arms and gave you your fatted calf. Your fatted calf was the all them blessings that started to pour in once you recognized who these people were, got away from them, and got closer to him. You know that the other son was jealous and upset about this because they said, I did everything. So why are they still able to get their inheritance or get their peace or get their blessings when I did everything right? And they just was able to just go and do all this stuff and they still got blessed, but I was the perfect one. I was the righteous one. These devils had to get exposed. These devils had to get exposed. They was really hating on you, man. They was really hating on you. And the ones that was close to you, that should have been close to you, they were fake. They had deep-rooted insecurities. And the thing is, these people have been judging you and laughing at your struggles for years. They was part of the opposing team for years and cloaked it for years. But see, God is saying how he sat these people down for all them years that they talked about you and judged you and laughed about you in private amongst themselves or around whoever. A lot of these people, you know the reason why a lot of people didn't respect you and laughed at you who weren't even close to you, who weren't even family? Because of the ones who were close to you and the ones who were your family were allowing others who weren't even blood to talk and laugh about your business and about who you were and what you had done. I just exposed some. I just told somebody something. Somebody in your family, somebody who was close to you, was going out and running their mouth, and they allowed whoever they was connected to, be it they was in relationships with people, you try to come around these people, they was laughing at you with these people. They were just, God say these people were ignorant. They was born in ignorance, raised in ignorance, and they're going to die in ignorance. And I say that with all due respect, because some people you just not going to be able to change. And what I say born into it, those who came before them, their parents or whoever they was connected to, were ignorant. So that's who they took after. That's the example that they were that's their parents or whoever, they led by example, but not in a good way. So God is telling you that you got to let these things go. But the reason of how he's going to expose these people and sit these people down for all them years that they did everything in private, he exposed them publicly and as well as blessed you publicly. Now, people ain't going to be so quick to run their mouth about you. And when they do, God said they only going to have good things to say. Play with it. I guarantee you the reason why they stay and they dwell in that past is because they know in your present and in your future, it ain't nothing but good. It ain't nothing but positivity. It ain't nothing but abundance. It ain't nothing but prosperity. What can they talk about when they not on your level? Never have been. This is why I tell you they grouped up with others and were simple-minded and childish and petty. And God say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. These people weren't trying to accept you for who you were. They wanted you. In part, the reason why they were upset that God still chose to bless you is because they wanted you to keep messing up. They can't accept you who you are right now. They wanted you to keep messing up so they can keep having something to talk and laugh about. But God said, listen. God said, you ain't going to give them the satisfaction. Not on my watch. Not on my time. these devils had to be exposed because they weren't going to admit the things that they had done to you. They were never going to admit it. That's how foul it was. These people, it's just like I say, so smart to you dumb. They did all of this to try to go against you, thinking that they were going to stop you, thinking they were going to set you back, thinking they was going to block whatever it is that God had already had plans of bringing to you, not even understanding you were already 20 steps ahead of these people before they even started all this foolishness. How can you stop something that has already happened? How can you block something that's already destined and meant to be? God had to redirect these people's paths and deal with them accordingly. And he had to get you on your path so you would fulfill your destiny. That was never going to happen as long as you was still choosing to associate yourself with these secret enemies and hidden devils. They had to be exposed. And now that you see, you need to keep pushing forward. And until next time, stay prayed up and be blessed. I love y'all.